some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. You win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Live to trade another day, live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Is it the bottom yet? I'm trying to buy up everything. Not gonna get upset, just pull the trigger, let it bang. When I see a trade, I'm hopping in like a Uber to secure my future. Up early just like a rooster, eyes glued to the computer, looking for a bag or two. Market cipher on the screen, compliments of trading view. Now I know what I'ma do, buy low and sell high. Even if you try and fail, at least you didn't fail to try. I don't wanna be the type of guy that let fear win. I'm the one that dive in head first and bust my chin. I know FOMO is a no-no, but I still get it in. Now I can't predict the future, but I know I'm bound to win. Later or sooner, I'll be the big kahuna. Cause I got big kahunas. I was not scared to get money, I took me some chances and now I'm the big kahuna. And if you scared, might as well get neuter. I'ma keep chasing my dreams. Wake up and mansion so big, I need a segue to get from wing to wing. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money. 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 You win some, you lose some. But you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Don't be scared, G. Like paid in full, get your bread, B. Cold wallet full of crypto, yeah, Big Lebowski. Can't forget to tip the waitress. Fur and loathing in Las Vegas. Tupac told us about the changes. People hating on your greatness. Mansion looking hella spacious. Shoes, they ain't got no laces. This the Aquarius age. Life happen in different phases. Out with money, in with crypto. Analog to digital. Could've been rich, but you was scared. What a imbecile. Say you want a miracle, but you bet the minimal.
WEEX, ready to level up your trading game? Welcome to WEEX, where smart tools meet zero maker fees and lightning fast withdrawals. And now it's time for the ultimate test. AI Wars WEEX Alpha Awakens. Build, trade, and battle your bots for...
Hey, what is going on, everyone? Guys, gals, aliens, and degenerate crypto enthusiasts, welcome back to Dano Crypto, and I want to welcome all the new subscribers to the channel. We just pumped in subscribers. We had over 200 plus subscribers in the past 3-4 days, so I want to welcome all the new people and just let you know that you are part of the Dano Dojo crew. And here we are training in this bleeding edge of culture and tech and finance, which is the cryptocurrency ecosystems. And so we've been doing this for the past 3 years on this channel, and we've been building this grassroots community from the ground up, from the lessons learned, the mistakes, and the wins, and we try and document it all on this channel. And so whatever we discover, whatever this dojo ends up learning as the techniques to be able to survive through the volatility, we are going to be sharing this and hopefully mastering the game of crypto. So welcome, everyone. I want you guys to do the housekeeping, which is hitting that like button. I want you to hit the subscribe button, ding the bell to be notified. And if you're watching on any of the other platforms, do all those things. That is either a heart button or a repost or a share, reshare, whatever it is. upvote, do whatever it is. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it for you guys taking the time to view this channel. So we're going to get into some of the volatility today. The weekend was very volatile. We had a nice push up through the week, and then the weekend gave us some dumpage. And then on Sunday, we had a nice liquidation wipeout of the markets. It wasn't too pretty. It was pretty red, not too nice. And so we got a lot of retracements going right back to where we basically started in the pump here. So if you're looking at like an hour chart, we were like, oh, we're pushing up, we got 97. We actually did do what was predicted. We went into the order block of 98, but then we just could not sustain. I was wrong. I was more on the side thinking if we can push and break through that order block in 98, we could potentially wreck the shorts again, come in and try and scoop up that 100, just hit 100K, and then 100K would have been the resistance to push us down to 92. Because I was thinking, look, we have a chance to hit 100K, but the volume spiked more on the narrative of the Genius Act and the Clarity Act not being passed. It was revision, needing revisions. Coinbase backed out. You see the thumbnail, Brian Armstrong and Coinbase don't support the bill because it does not have the actual healthy competition that the cryptocurrency markets has with these protocols, with these companies. It basically just gatekeeps it to make it where the banks still have control and they can continue to do the things that they're doing right now with our cash. So the banks, Brian Armstrong explains that, and he's right explaining this because this is the thing. Whether you think Coinbase is kind of in on trying to just be the ones that they want to be the gatekeepers as well, I think that Brian Armstrong does give a good explanation of why this is happening, why the volatility is happening. And the banks have always had the ability to take our cash and disperse it out and issue loans and all these things. And they actually don't have all of the reserves of 1-to-1 ratio of, say, if everyone wanted to take their money out. They wouldn't be able to make whole everyone's withdrawals. So with that, the stable coin market actually has 1-to-1 reserves. And when it's backed, like you can actually, the way that operates, it's more ratioed reserves than what the dollar system has with the banks. So this is what the battle is currently happening right now. And I think that the offshore exchanges because guess who holds most of the supply of alts and the crypto that we hope our bags are going to pump? It's mainly these big exchanges. So what they can do is use all of this quote narrative to their advantage and catch traders, and catch them, off guard, sideline them. And then also the institutions are coming in with big money to buy up the dips that is being wash traded and flushed through a lot of these supply being held by the big boys, the big whales. That's what's moving these markets, and we would always hope that retail would come in and retail is going to be the ones pushing the volume in the markets, but that's just not the case. We've learned this over time being in crypto and watching crypto since 2021. We did have some retail push, but the way that the money works and these markets work, it's institutional money and liquidity that comes from the big boys coming in and pushing in volume. And then we get volume, and then us being on the, in the bleeding edge of this stuff is we're accumulating that supply, whether it be Ethereum, Bitcoin, anything underlining like this that you think is going to perform well. You could be part of the XRP army. You could be part of the privacy army where you're getting into all these different privacy coins, or you're hedging into all of it because you've seen the waves and you've seen what's happened before. You know that volatility like this happens. It's par for the course. And you just have to be able to see where that money is flowing when it starts to activate. And then when you start seeing everyone calling for, oh, this is the bear market, it's over, and Trump's ruining the blah, blah, blah. The market's going to crash. Tariffs are going to crash the stock market. And it just seems to me that if you just look at the DXY, you can go to the DXY, and we've tried to point this out. And this is the key indicator for bull market activation, is this dollar continuing to go down. And if you go to a daily chart or a weekly chart, this will reveal to you something very interesting. So every time we've been in this area here, and we'll just use this particular chunk of the dollar because this is where we've had our altcoin seasons. So altcoin season, the very first one kind of happened in 2013, 14, when we had some more cryptos being added to the ecosystem off of Bitcoin. And then we had a pop. And then you see in 2016, 17 is where, and then that was where this happened. So then we had the bear market go after that. The dollar gained strength. You can see how the dollar went up and gained some strength. And then it created a baseline at 99 of strength. Then we had our altcoin season, another bull market going in 2016, 17, and look at where the dollar went. The dollar went down 13%. And so this right here was the peak of the first like massive altcoin season, where we had ICOs and there was just like all that stuff. We weren't in crypto just yet. We weren't paying attention to it at all. Like, we knew what Bitcoin was, but we didn't know like what Ethereum was or other cryptos or smart contracts. Like, we weren't in that deep yet. Like, that was when 2020 and 2021 is what really like catapulted people. If you were already kind of on that trajectory of thought process, then you naturally fell into crypto, especially if you were mesmerized by the GME, the run on Wall Street, the Doge run, Roaring Kitty, just like all that stuff. That definitely sparked some interest. But this was that first wave. But then look at what happened. The dollar gained strength and we went into the bear market. And then look, it matched up with COVID, all of that stuff, the massive money printing, interest rates basically went to zero, and then they just flooded the system with money. And then look at what happened after the fact. Then we went into another bull market in altcoin season. That was DeFi summer, metaverse alpha, the gaming tokens. I mean, stuff was just going insane. And it was basically, do I have that still bookmarked? No, but it's okay. I'll just explain it. Basically, it was that true phase of like you had Bitcoin really taking a lot of volume, and then it was a rotation in the ETH. The ETH BTC ratio flipped bullish, and then we just saw a surge in alts. I mean, it was crazy. So the fact that this has happened a few times, and then this is really key, is that we were basically have been in this sideways market for Bitcoin in the whole, cryptocurrency market cap all during this time, because the dollar had been pretty strong up here. And now we're going into a descending wedge where I think the dollar is going to be our key indicator right here, at least the dollar strength of this. Like, you buy here. So everyone's wondering, like, what do you do? Well, you find, I can't tell you what to buy, but if you found your stuff, you build up your portfolio, okay, you found your strength, and you're looking at coins that you're like, all right, these things are already like giving volume and pumping right now, even when we have this volatility. So if I accumulate supply right now, just like the institutions are doing, you got to follow what they are doing, not what they say. You follow the money, and then you're accumulating here in the tariff fears, the geopolitical stuff, all that stuff. And then you're buying here and you're selling when it's down here. So then that's just like you're at least somewhat of a forward leading indicator. And especially another forward leading indicator would be the pump on silver and gold, all hitting their exact targets that we were calling for a long time on this channel. So if you're like, we're not all in on crypto like we are, and you wanted to hedge in some gold and silver, then this is literally, I mean, this is the damn target. And look, and it did exactly what we told it. It said, look, it was going to pump up to 80. Once it hit in the 80 range, it was going to wick down and go into 70s. That's when the whales of silver were going to come in hot and buy spot, wreck the silver's futures shorts contracts, and send it to almost $100 an ounce. Bada bing, bada boom, right there happened. So this is also a forward leading indicator into the next asset class, which is crypto. So right now we're actually getting some of these privacy legacy protocols pumping and seeing volume, one of them being Rose, one of them being Monero, and then we're also seeing a big surge of old metaverse tokens and gaming tokens, which was, we had Sand and some of this other stuff was going up. And then we mentioned that Nakamoto Games is always one of those tokens that just in that, you know, euphoria or whatever it is, and just some excitement, Nakamoto Games always comes in hot. So we just watch those particular tokens, and a lot of the times that's a good indication of like which ones are going into rotation, especially inside of the ecosystem of crypto right now. The traders and the people that are holding supply, it's a lot of the same people. So it's like we're all sometimes watching the similar stuff, and when we're seeing the rotations going into particular coins, then we're already like looking at that next coin. Like, okay, we see Nakamoto Games going, or we see a particular gaming token start to go, then we're going to start looking at the other one. So then I'm going to look at like Vulcan Forge, something like that. That's also kind of like a niche token that would be like the next in line, or the ecosystems that are powering the infrastructure, like Immutable or Ronin, and you can just stuff like that. Yeah, you just kind of start going down the rabbit hole. That's how you're going to really find. That's how you're going to just be like, all right, and just chuck $100, you DCA, and before you know it, you're looking at a chart like this, and look, it's like it looks like it's absolute trash. But when you look at the support that has built up and where it's sitting from here, from the previous couple years that were just like got destroyed, when we were just like in the toilet, this is support. Massive support. When you look on the weekly chart, looks a lot better than it does on the short time frames for sure. So this is how, without trading, you don't even have to trade. You're just buying. You're buying spot. You don't even have to trade if you don't want to have that type of risk. You're just dollar cost averaging, and don't sell at a loss. Just dollar cost averaging. Do not sell at a loss. Don't do it. I mean, if you're already down, if you're down 90%, why are you going to sell? Just hold it like it's a relic in your wallet. Because this is the thing, alts will go down 95%, and then some of them will then recover back 1,000%. And you'll say, you're insane. It's happened. It's true. It does it. And you just have to be in that coin. That's it. That's why people say in crypto, all it takes is one of those plays to happen. And you just had about $1,000 in it in the lows where people are saying it's absolutely over. I feel like I've discovered a few of those things, and I'm just going to try and be patient enough to see if it can be true. Everyone's taken that risk with most of these assets, and you just have to play the game. So this is where, like, look, and everyone was saying crypto gaming's never coming back. Don't buy it. It's going to keep going down, blah, blah, blah. And then look, you ignore that, and then you just bought Nakamoto Games DCA'd, and you're up 60%. You're up 60% on one gaming ecosystem token. And it could be that simple. So, and this is just 1 week. This is just 1 week. Look what it did when we had the momentum of what is, I think, going to repeat itself. It's not going to rhyme. It's not going to repeat exactly, but I think it'll rhyme a little bit. That we start getting back into the good times. And then you start seeing things like this. Look, so where we're at right now, look at, okay, it went up 65%. Well, over a span of 420 days going up a year, it went up 2,725%. So this is where you have to be battle tested in your emotions and everything that is the FUD. Because look, you'll look, this is what happens. Like, it'll go up 200%, you'll sell the bag. Goes down 60%, whatever it is right here. You go here, goes down 60%. You're like, oh my God. And people are saying, oh my God, I can't believe you fell for it. And then if you just ignore it and wait, this is what could potentially happen. It is not guaranteed. You could lose all your money. But man, if you can just ignore all of that crap, and then you have your strategy, you know what you're willing to lose, what your potential gain could be. You have some type of strategy, and you can maneuver and try and keep adjusting it a little bit, but you just figure out kind of what works, and you kind of study these coins. You figure out what coins are like, you can really figure out how some of these move whenever we get into certain points and phases of the market. That's what's cool, is like Bitcoin and ETH. The reason why the whales trade it is because it has so much history of economic things that happen, and then hey, you're being very loud. Shh. Daughter's like going wild out there. Like, I'm the only one that can be loud right now. But yeah, so this is just, you could use this strategy on a lot of different coins, and you just want to hope that it's the ones that are going to have strength when ETH and Bitcoin start to get back into the volume. We got to have volume. We got to have liquidity. I think the exchanges are using all of this tariff and the market structure to its advantage to just like shake people out with the volatility. Some people do get scared, and there are real people that are selling. That's the thing. There are actual real people that are watching channels that are big channels that have way more subscribers and followers than I do, and they are telling them to sell everything. Like, just to sell everything, exit out. You're just like, 2026 is going to be the bear market. Bitcoin's going to go to 30K. And then you can read in the comments, and a crypto YouTuber pointed this out. It was Sami. So we'll give him a shout out right now. It's Sami. We'll go to Sami, your friend Sami. And I've been noticing this too. It's like, you'll see that a lot of these big accounts, they have a big following. And then a lot of these people will follow these big accounts because they're like, oh, well, they have a lot of followers. They must be smart. They must know what they're talking about. And most of the time they're wrong. And most of the time it's the smaller accounts and that have the lowest engagement that post every single day. They don't leave. They look at Twitter and they look at the markets every single day. They see how it ebbs and flows, and they've learned a skill of being able to inverse these people. And so that's what we've been doing on this channel, is to figure out how to inverse the sheeple mind of these people saying, oh yeah, they're selling, so I should sell, right? And not even realizing that you hold different coins. Everyone has a different type of strategy. You could be in a completely different bag, but then you're going to listen to someone that's not even holding the same coins as you, and they're like, yeah, sell. And you're like, okay, I'm going to sell everything, I guess. And it's like, it's so irresponsible. On this channel, I tell you, everyone's journey is relative to when you got in, when you bought, what coins you're buying, what your strategy is, what you're doing. It's not all like, oh, number go up or down. No, it's like, what is your actual edge? And then you figure out how to extract wealth from that. I can't tell you to be like, yeah, it looks bad right now, guys, so you should sell everything. It's like, dude, that is so irresponsible. And it'd be irresponsible for me to just be like, man, number look good right now. You guys should be pumping in right now. I just say, look, you need to figure out what you are wanting to even buy to begin with, and then figure out and study those 10 things, or don't even start with 10, do 5. If you're just getting into crypto, you need to pick like 4 coins. Watch the chart, look at the ecosystem, see what the applications are, look at the community. How has it survived multiple crashes? Has it every time it's crashed, it's only just gotten worse? Because you can look at those coins. See, there's coins out there that have survived, even the meme coins that have survived the worst FUD and volatility we've ever seen in crypto ever. And those are the things you need to study, because then that's how you can be DCAing and be buying low and then DCAing out and selling high, and not even having any emotion on it and just saying, this is how the game is played. The exchanges are playing this game. The people that are servicing the ETFs for all these 401ks and all this stuff, and the institutional buyers to get staking for institutional yield know this game, and it's never going to stop. You got to play that game. That's it. And so don't listen to these big influencers like that are calling most of the time for everything to be over, and they always think they're right, but they're mostly wrong. You need to be neutrally optimistic, knowing that there is going to be these little mini bear markets of people not knowing what the hell's going on. But then you look and see what all the institutions are gearing up to do. The banks are trying to get in to try and get that yield. They're all minting stuff on chain. If you look at what particular stocks are pumping, they're all crypto, like kind of like related or have a connection to crypto, like AI and data centers and all that, and agenic stuff, all ties to being able to have something ledged on a blockchain, because you can't run this stuff and have it be powered and then see what what's happening just by it just being straight cash, or how the old system works. It's all going to be powered by agenic crypto smart contracts, and that's what Ethereum and Vitalik has been spearheading this whole time, is that this is eventually what is going to power the world. And so we're all over here fighting what's going to, if crypto is going to exist in a few years or not. It's like, that's like not even a question anymore. The question is, are you going to be in here long enough and not get shaken out and hold supply as a pleb, a normie person out here? You're not on an institutional board. You're not in the fly on the wall. You're not an insider like these people are they're doing this stuff. But you can start to gather information. You gather information like we've been doing on this channel, and you start to act on it. So we need to do that. So I think that's the key here, is like, look, you see Bitcoin, it was pumping everything, and then the rotation went right into legacy coins. So there you go. That's not necessarily a bearish signal, but I think that might be actually a bullish signal. That Bitcoin, even at these points, is getting rotated, and it's just kind of going like this, because whales are going, look, I'm going to sell some BTC. We're trading BTC. We feel the trajectory over the next year is going to go up into the 200,000s. Let's also acquire these legacy coins that pump when ETH pumps. Then those same whales are then flipping bullish on the ETH BTC ratio. Then when that starts to hit into the Fibonacci, all of the coins that they just rotated into from BTC, they literally outperform their Bitcoin purchase and their gains up thousands of percent. And then what are they going to do? Sell some of that, go into BTC, BTC pumps again, and then it's just rinse and repeat. And you just need to be buying the crap out of whatever you understand and build up that bag, because I don't care what anyone tells you. You're not going to make it just thinking you're going to trench pump tokens with $25. You need to just be taking $25 every single week and DCAing into a wallet that you just won't touch. DCA, don't freaking touch it. Don't freaking touch it. You take $25, $30, $50, and you just start picking off at what you have discovered and what you know and understand. And before you know it, you have $1,000 in each of those 4 coins that you might understand, whatever it might be. Maybe you started really liking XRP. You started to figure out the chart. You're like, oh, there's like right when it gets to this point, it seems like whales come in or volume just spikes right here. Buy right there. Same thing with Monero. You can say, whoa, every time it gets to this certain little point right here, or in price action, we see this resistance here, but now it's turned into support. What the heck's going on? I don't know. Maybe you want to start buying that. I don't know. Polygon. There's so much that you can use in this strategy that I'm talking about to keep it simple. And then before you know it, you have $1,000 or more in each of these coins. And then that's when you're going to really see, and you can hold that for a year. You can just hold that for a year into this phase. Holy crap. And imagine if you could hold it for longer than a year. You can even be as patient and non-goldfish brain to hold your stuff for longer than a year. Holy crap. I don't even want to think about the coins and the things that I have bought at the lowest of the lows and sold it, because obviously, life, people have different things that they have to do, purchases, whatever. You might be wanting to buy a house or put a down payment on something. So you're like, what usually gets hit? It's like you take money from your investments, you take it out of your savings. You got to get cash from everywhere. It's not cheap to put down payments on stuff. So, yeah. So you just imagine, like, if you could just be like, you're just like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm holding this damn thing because I feel and have an instinct that this is where the money system, it's like a new money system. And the people that were like that with Amazon and all these, the Mag 7 and all of these companies that ended up basically taking over entire infrastructures of the world. If you were that forward thinking, then you just made like a 60,000% return on your money. You just retired your entire bloodline. Like, you literally just made it, you put your freaking family on easy mode. You just put the rest of your, that's like what we're going to do here is, if we can be smart enough to not get shaken out, knowing we instinctually feel like this is the bleeding edge of finance right now, then we are literally going to put our future families on easy mode for finances. That part is covered. Like, here you go. Here's the chest, the Satoshi treasure chest. and it's liquid internet capital space money that is going to be able to be sent anywhere instantly. That's what I think about. Let's start thinking about that, because that's where it's going to get real crazy, guys. All right. So Poly Market is there's all kinds of trending bets right now. Will Trump acquire Greenland before 2027? There's a 21% chance for that. Then who will Trump nominate as the Fed chair? Kevin Warsh, 62% chance. So that might be a good hedge bet on that. We have, let's see, for Super Bowl championship, we got the Seattle Seahawks at 39%. We had a pretty major game yesterday happen with the What was it? Who was it? It was like a major game. The Rams. I think it was the Rams against the. Who was it? The Rams against the Chargers. I think it was. It was like a tie. They were. It was like 16-17, and they got that extra point on the field goal to tie it up, and then I think they won 2017. I think it was the Rams that took it. That was pretty crazy. Where I was, everyone was like, it was like eruption, because I think people's parlays were like hit. They were like, yes. So that's the thing, man. With people with their prediction markets, their sports betting, I get it. It's like it's hitting dopamine like in a different way than I think crypto is hitting people right now. And that is just the truth. And, people people that are in crypto are wondering like, why, what happened? Where did everyone go? That's where everyone went. There's a massive $1 billion campaign of advertisement to get people to bet, to sports bet or prediction gamble. That's just when you have a money machine powering a narrative and a push for you to use these applications, guess what? Thousands and thousands of people will use them, and they're going to generate a lot of cash. And so this has always been my argument with crypto, is that like, if you want people to use crypto, well, you better start ponying up on the advertisement, because people aren't just going to trust crypto. Like and especially because most of the things that they see is scams. Most of the things that end up the people's experiences is that they end up sending their money to some offshore exchange that ends up being a complete scam. They hear those stories instead. If they were to just hear and get but see, sports betting, they don't ever advertise and say like that you're gonna 90%. It's like an 85 to 90% loss rate. Like 10% of the people lose, win money, and 90% of the people lose. Even on Polymarket, even on all the sports betting stuff, the prediction markets, the win ratio to losses it's not. They're never going to tell you that, because they want you to feel like you could win. So this is what is, I think, driving people, the normies, whoever you want to call it, like to do this, because there's just money being pushed for it. And if there was money that the crypto exchanges and protocols would put into putting it out in front of people as many times as what the ads do for Hard Rock Bets and getting Post Malone and all these different people to promote it, they would get people into things like Pump Fund, or they would learn more about Solana. They would learn more about the ecosystem as a whole and how to use some of these applications, and learn about signing a smart contract wallet, just stuff like that. But they're not doing it. So Brian Armstrong and all these people, like, they think that going on X and getting, they think 24,000 impressions means that 24,000 people listen to what he said. That's false. This is what these people think. And I know this is true. These people think that their impressions on their account on X is generating users and people to get and download the platform. False. You have to I sound like Dwight I'm like, false. This is how it is. This is how you grow beats. But it's just, you have to be like these companies, these big companies. They advertise, they do commercials, they spend millions and millions of dollars on making commercials and putting them on air and putting them through radio, TV, everything. They spend a small budget on actually putting it on ads for the internet. But now that the algorithm is completely changed and it's more so like reading your freaking thoughts, no one's thinking about crypto. So it's not going to show you crypto. You have to put crypto forcefully in front of people with ads, like TV ads and radio ads, and the ads on whatever, X, Facebook, whatever it is, Instagram. But this is, I think, the way. It really is. I think it's going to help. Okay. So there's a couple things that I want to show you guys that I think will help you to get locked into DCA and into a strategy. We've talked about the cryptos. And we've talked about the gold and silver, but we want to show you guys this new platform. It's called Robinhood Legend. This thing is really, really cool. And let's see if okay. So you can look at your individual account. Right now, my individual stock account is like, it is literally at zero. I've just been basically all in on crypto. But what I told myself is like, okay, I really got to just like, I have to have some type of hedge into these stocks that I've been watching, and also in the stocks that are connected to silver mining and gold mining and Bitcoin mining and Ethereum, also with the ETFs, with Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, and Strategy, their preferred stocks that are offering yield. So all of these things that I'm talking about, and you could go as far as just branching way out and connecting it to AI, connecting it to tech stocks. You can do this in a Roth IRA. So when you do this in a Roth IRA on Robinhood, they're going to match it. They're going to match it at like between 1% and 2%. They might match it even a little bit more, I think, if you have the gold account. So these are the stocks that we have added into our Roth IRA. Is Coin. So Coin is Coinbase. It is the stock that is publicly traded on the stock market for the exchange Coinbase. Circle is a publicly traded company that is the company behind minting USDC, which is the default stablecoin that is used by Coinbase. So I think over time, when we have the quote stablecoin super cycle, we could see these stocks like this get massive volume, and you probably want to have some kind of exposure into some tax sheltered Roth IRA stuff that they're going to also match in a long-term portfolio. So then we also have the ETHA, which is the Ethereum, one of the Ethereum ETFs. This is going to be generating yield. And just imagine when Ethereum is at $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 over the next 5 years. This thing's generating yield. It's generating staking yield as well. And then it's also generating you matched tax sheltered dividends inside your Roth IRA. Then you also have IBIT. That is the Bitcoin ETF. Then you say when Bitcoin's at $200,000, these things are generating volume. They're pumping. These things are being offered as options for people for their 401ks and their Roth IRAs and retirement accounts. Then you have MSTR. MSTR pumps when Bitcoin pumps. It's just that simple. When Bitcoin's down, MicroStrategy's down, it's got a volatility rate higher than Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy goes down more. When Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy and the preferred stocks go up more. It's got a volatility rate a lot higher than Bitcoin. So you're getting risk and Bitcoin risk, but with a tax sheltered Roth IRA. Pretty cool. So this is how you can really kind of still hedge into crypto, get exposure from this portion of the market, and take advantage of really DCAing into something. And then you can say, hey, I'll just put $20 a week, maybe, or if you do $50 every 2 weeks, whatever, $100 a month. And this in a year could say $6,000. You have $10,000, and imagine then they're matching that 2%. And you're going into these things forward thinking, not knowing, but you have a good instinct that this is also going to be pumping on the momentum of this new money system. And where else they're going to put this dirty, like printed money that they're just going to keep printing? Probably going to go into this stuff. So then we have the STRK, that's the preferred stock that's generating yield. We have SLV, which is the silver mining. There's a bunch of these, but I like to pick the ones that are obviously going to have the most trading volume, offer the most dividend return. And so this is connected with companies that are mining silver. Silver's back ordered massively right now. The supply that is needed for orders that are coming in for spot silver cannot be met. That's why silver's pumping so hard. Then you have STRK, like I said, and then Tesla. So Tesla's the one where this is the one where I think a lot of people should really just pay attention. Because if you pay attention to Tesla and you start to connect Tesla to a robot in every home, that's how Tesla gets to, this is how Tesla gets to $1,000 per Tesla. And you have this in a tax, like, you know, a tax sheltered, like non, you know, pre-tax, non-taxed, not as taxed. You're holding it for over a year. Then you're not getting this short-term capital gains. I mean, you're just, and then they're matching it. I mean, you're just getting so much exposure. So this is, and you can do this very, very easily. So I think this is cool. We want to let you guys know this. If you haven't thought about it, it's definitely something you should look into. And if you want to, you can check out my link. You can check out the link for it. And all of these links and all these things I'm talking about are inside the Discord, inside the Telegram. We have a new Telegram signals group. All the links for that are in the chat. I put it all in the chat, and it's also in the description of the channel. If you scan this Linktree QR code right here on the screen, if you're on your TV, you scan that right now, and that will bring you to the main links. And then you will see all of the stuff and the steps to take to get inside the Discord, and it's pretty cool. So first, we'll share you guys this link. This is the Robinhood link. So if you haven't done this, if you haven't really taken your investment journey seriously, now is the time to do so. It's the start of the year, and you can really hit it hard by being aggressive and doing this and say, hey, if I've been spending $100 on some garbage crap that just like I don't even really care about, and it's just like kind of like dopamine hit stuff where you're just trying to check out a reality, maybe put $100 in some investments that will grow over time, compounding with a little bit of risk and volatility. But then, hey, if you're not doing anything at all, guess what? That's even more riskier. So what are you going to do about it? That's the name of the game. So check it out. All right, so we are trading on WEEX. We also partnered with WEEX. We have been really liking the platform. What I like about some of these trading platforms is if you can really get your limit orders in and execute your limits and your take profits, your stop losses, they hit properly. Sometimes these exchanges, the order books are all whacked out. The way that they price oracle their stuff is like just not, it just seems funky. Some of them just don't seem right. And because I've tested them. And so what I do is I like to test stuff. And then I tested this one. I'd made deposits, cool. Deposits came in good, fast. And there's a lot of different security measures put in. So there's like multiple ways that you can protect your account with you can KYC it fully, or you can keep it pretty straightforward. You can have it 2FA'd. You can link your phone number. You can do all this stuff so you make sure that your account is protected. And we've been liking it. And then so they're actually price sourcing from Huobi, which is Justin Sun's exchange. Then we also have Binance, and then we have OKX. So they're actually source pricing from the major exchanges. So basically getting a pretty good order book detail, and the volume on here is good. Also, it is in the top 50 of liquidity exchanges on the crypto ecosystems right now. So we right now currently tried to catch some kind of something with Bitcoin. I mean, this thing took a plunge into this level, into 91, and a lot of what probably the traders are looking at as the next liquidation level would be going back into the 99, this low 90s, like basically right at 90K. We made a higher low in the bounce someone, someone would say, oh, well, this could just be a dead cat bounce because it goes boom. And if it's a dead cat, it bounces and it'll just end up going to this $90,000 level right here, scoop up some liquidity. You can see we had volume here the last time, which brought us up to that 98K. And it could easily do that. It could easily go lower, or it's not a dead cat bounce. It's actually alive. It didn't die. It still has some lives. And then if that's the case, then we see the trend, and the trend would be your friend at 100K. That's kind of what I'm seeing as my breakout TA here. That would then be turning this into a inverse head and shoulders. That would then be a inverse head and shoulders. So if that happens, that means we're precursing an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So then you would be eyeing to hit that 95K again as the trade take profit. And this is your range to get into to hit that take profit up at 95K. You wait. You could, trail stop loss, whatever, set it to take profit, break even, whatever. If you're here, you don't have to do that trail stop loss up here. And then maybe re-enter back if you see support hitting back at 94. So we would see something like that happening if that's the case. But if they're going to head and shoulders us, they're going to be like this and then just kind of bring it down, do the dead cat bounce, get us here. Then our recovery would be more so a long-standing kind of more of a V-shape recovery. So then it would be like do like that. That's kind of what I'm seeing. Seeing something like that. So basically, it's either going to go up or down. So basically, it's going to go up or down. That's it. That's the best TA I can give you for today, my friends. All right, so we got some news. So New York Stock Exchange plans to launch a platform enabling 24/7 trading of US listed equities and stocks. Yeah, we've known this. We've said this. This is going to be the plan. They want everything on the blockchain because then it's just going to be like instant 24-hour trading, tokenized stocks, real world assets. All of these companies are going to have tokenized versions of their stocks with different types of liquidity, different stable coins that you can use. That's why they're minting all these stable coins. And so so you have to think, well, are you going to invest in the native asset chain and then the meme coin and then the DEX and then the protocol that's on the chain that the big liquidity is going to be flowing onto? That is the key. And so how do you do it? What do you look at? Well, you can go to things like DeFi Llama. You can go to things, let's do that right now. We'll go to DeFi Llama and we'll go to chains. And then what you're going to see is that there are all of these blockchains and they have protocols and they have total value locked. They also have a 24-hour DEX volume that you can check and see like who's actually using this freaking thing. There's volume coming in on Arbitrum, Polygon, even on CeeLo. Ethereum has actually surpassed a record-breaking transaction volume that was like record breaking recently. It was like they haven't had this transaction volume in a long time. So something's up. Something's going on with Ethereum. And then we have Base. We have Binance Smart Chain. They are minting this, but I don't like to talk about Binance or Binance Smart Chain. I've banned my brain from mention. I just skip right over them. Solana. So Solana, Base, ETH, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche. Then you can go down the line and start thinking, okay, Tron's getting a lot of US stock market attention. And then also reminding people that it was the blockchain where everyone was doing stablecoin transactions to begin with. So they've been building that infrastructure. Tron recently was added on MetaMask. So there's a lot of stuff to keep in your radar. But then what you need to think is, okay, Hyperliquid and some of these chains are doing perps. And then people are using Hyperliquid. Companies are using Hyperliquid more so than Aster to as a chain to implement different prediction markets and perps trading on their application. So it says blah 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 powered by Hyperliquid. And then you can go into you can go specifically into perp dexes. You can just say perp volume by protocol or perp volume by chain. That's a really popular one right now. And then you can actually see how much open interest each of these has. So right now people are trading heavy on Arbitrum. You want to know why Arbitrum's getting so much volume? Because it's a chain that you can choose to use to trade on a lot of these. So some of them, they only have like Arbitrum, Polygon, and Ethereum, or they'll have Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, so, you know, and so you'll have that option. That's where all this perp volume's coming from, and the perp volume in the 7-day, 13 billion just on Arbitrum. Perp volume 24-hour on Arbitrum, 1.6. So then you look at Hyperliquid, it's pretty high. Then you go perp volume by the 30 days. I mean, it's really up there. Now you do by protocol, and then you can see when people are talking about the difference between Hyperliquid and Aster, and how look at the difference in open interest, but then also you can look at the difference in the perpetual volume. And now so the perps volume in the past 24 hours though is a lot higher on Aster, is about double than what Hyperliquid is right now. But the open interest on Hyperliquid is higher. But then look at the perps volume in the past 7 days has been 40 billion as opposed to Aster's 31 billion. But then you can say, okay, well, these are the top ones. Let's see what's down here and see if there's a potential that you can get a little bit of the mid to low cap exposure, like Apex Protocol maybe. Maybe you can see about this EdgeX. You can see about Jupiter. DYDX was actually very much in 2023, I remember, was in 2022 and 2023 was getting a lot of trading volume. People were using that. And also MYX Finance. So it's potential that these are kind of stealing the show a little bit, but then it's possible that the low cap and mid caps on these chains for the perp dexes to quote farm, or even to say, hey, do these have a token? How is the token traded when we saw the rotation, and can go down that rabbit hole. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Make sure you're checking out all the links. So we revamped everything. We revamped the Discord. We have amazing mods helping us out. We have just everything is being dialed in for this year, because we really want to build a strong community in this dojo. It's called the Dano Dojo Crew. You guys are part of it. You come in and we have all of these different crypto meta signals. We're here every single day watching this stuff. So if you follow this, you're going to get pinged on the most recent articles, whether it be funny stuff, something that Beeple posted, the connection between if like Beeple, Elon reposting Beeple. That means Elon's watching what Beeple's doing. Beeple's favorite NFT project is the Sproto Gremlins. So if you want an ADHD hyper schizo person connecting the dots like Charlie on the pegboard and it Always Sunny in Philadelphia style, then you follow the Telegram. The Telegram, I will just link it to you right now. It's in the description of the channel.
Senate Banking Committee delaying a vote on legislation.
And then at the end of this live stream, we're going to play you guys just a few little clips of what we've kind of been talking about, but then we'll give it from the mainstream media's view perspective. So real quick. Here's all the links. So there's the Discord link. You want to click on that. Once you get in the Discord, you will then be sent to the verify section. You'll have limited access when you click on it. So whenever you click on inside the Discord, you'll get sent to that verification. You just have to sign up for the WEEX link. You sign up for the WEEX link, you send in that, and then you will get full access to the Discord, and we're going to build this thing up. We're going to have some fun. We're going to crush it this year. We're giving all the tools, all the mechanisms, and all of the reasons to continue to have this investment strategy and mindset, because we don't want people to be in a gambling, desperations mindset and just getting completely dopamine fried. We want to continue to sharpen ourselves and know that we might get excited. It's okay. It happens. It's natural. We're humans. We have a lizard and monkey kind of portion in our brain that kind of overrides sometimes our level of intellect and our in our brain. That's why we do some of the things that we do, even if we do have a strategy. I mean, there's people that are high performers with their strategy, and even those people sometimes succumb to that monkey lizard in our brain. So we get excited and we're like, oh, and then sometimes we just get caught off guard. Sometimes it happens. But we always come back. We get better. We say, okay, well, what happened? All right, I got too excited. I got too ahead of myself. I didn't have a good head on my shoulders, and let's do better. And so the name of the game right now, I feel like, is just surviving long enough, figuring out those 5 coins that you've studied, and just lock in. And so if you want to lock in with us, with this community, all the new subscribers, all the people that are coming in here, we live stream every single day pretty much. We're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we're posting every single day in the Discord and also in the Telegram. So click on the links, join, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed. All right. Hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe out there. Let's see what's happening with the tariff FUD and all of this volatility. But I think it'll equal out. I think if anything, this is the par for the course short-term volatility that loves to shake people out and give confirmation to the bias of the bears of the major accounts to tell you to sell all your crypto. But well, I think we have a lot more fish to fry, my friends. So hit that like button on the way out, and hope to see you in the Discord, and have a good rest of the day. Peace out.
WEEX, ready to level up your trading game? Welcome to WEEX, where smart tools meet zero maker fees and lightning fast withdrawals. And now it's time for the ultimate test. AI Wars WEEX Alpha Awakens. Build, trade, and battle your bots for WEEX.